back at Harmonic Pines. We started with Marcus as he walks out of the room. We can hear Spencer York from inside, kind of harping on him for constantly hitting on Bethany, but making sure that he's back in time for the concert. We hear Marcus go, yeah, you know I'm gonna be back. I gotta say hi to my girl. And then he shuffles off down the hallway to meet his family. Slowly he moves through the hallway, completely unbeknownst to him that this is the day he's going to die, without a doubt. But something else is going to happen to him today. He walks into the visitors' kind of center of the retirement home, which is this kind of big lounge where you meet incoming guests. Sits down in a chair. And he sits there for a good 5 minutes, 10 minutes go by, until Hank, the orderly, walks over and goes, "Oh, Marcus, they didn't tell you." He goes, "What?" "Your daughter called. They had something they had to do. The kid got sick. They couldn't bring him in." He goes, Oh, that's a bummer. That's okay. That's no problem." He's like, "Sorry, buddy." And then clasps on the shoulder. Like, "I know you were looking forward to it." He's like, "It's okay. They always come and see me. I don't mind." "Thanks, Hank." Hank's like, "No problem." Hank walks off. It's at this point that Hank kind of stands up. Marcus kind of stands up, and he's like, "Well, I guess get back. At least I can flirt with Parks today." And then he goes to turn around when all of a sudden another guy walks in. This time, it's the Bohemian, but now he's in a Hawaiian t-shirt that's orange. He walks in, kind of walks over to Marcus, just like straight to him, and he goes, "Hey, I know you. You usually wear a different shirt. I know. My other shirt got some stains on it. Happens, bro." He walks over to him, clasps Marcus on the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, I never did say thanks to you." Marcus just kind of looks at him and goes, "Thanks to me for what? I mean, you bring the guy in and set up the concerts and the entertainment. I didn't help you with any of that. I think you're confusing me with someone." He's like, No, Marcus. Bro, you have no idea how much you help me on a daily basis. How much you sent me here. I mean, honestly, it's the kinds of things that you taught to people that gave me the sense of morals that I have." And he just kind of looks at him and goes, "Okay." He's like, "Anyway, you're about to meet an old friend, and you're welcome." And then he just kind of turns and walks off, down, like across from him through the lounge and into the kitchen. Marcus follows him with his eyes, and he goes, "Hey, wait, stranger, Before he can respond, a large purple door materializes out of nothing in the middle of the lounge. The door opens, and out walks the Drifter. The Drifter kind of steps out like he should be right here and turns, and you lock eyes with Marcus, realizing that you are on your own timeline in a way, and on the same day, and you just see Marcus looking at you. And Marcus is unlike other people, though the Drifter's physical appearance has changed. His ruby red eyes, the red eyes that they named their band after, Windows to the Soul, is still very present. And Marcus just looks at him for a long time and goes, "Spencer?" Come back from the credits, and both Bethany and the Drifter stare in stunned silence at a man who died in their arms not more than 4 days ago. And we actually are taken back to the scene in which Marcus died in Bethany's arms. Bethany was standing over him while the Drifter tried to get help. At that time, Spencer York. She remembers Marcus looking up as the life kind of left his eyes, mouthing words that she could not make out to save her life, but he looked like he was in so much pain. and so much suffering. And right now, I want you both to give me endurance resolve rolls, and they are going to be a 20 difficulty.
Endurance resolve. 18.
Not enough.
Like 11.
Okay, you are both like stunned. Like this hits to your core. You just weren't expecting to walk into this guy yet. It's basically an open wound. Bethany, actually, like, you uncontrollably have a tear in your eye, kind of like rolling down your eye, and just don't know what to say. As again, you're taken back to that moment when he literally died in your arms 4 days ago, and now he's just standing in front of you. He looks at Drifter and he just goes, "Ugh, well, you two look like somebody died. Why do you look like you had a facelift?" And he just starts to kind of like wander towards the door. What's with the door? What's with the door? And then he kind of like brushes past the Drifter, who is still just like lost in absolute like confusion as to what to do. When he kind of like turns around and he goes, "Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you guys?" And then he walks through the door and he goes, "Holy crap! Crap on a cracker! What is going on back here?" And he just like wanders in, and then he kind of like wanders out of the door and like looks around the door and then wanders back in. And sure enough, he's in the TARDIS before you guys snap to adjustment. You guys hear Jeffrey from inside go, "Oh, hello! I was not aware there was another person joining us. Welcome to the magical spaceship. I'm relatively new to it too." And you just hear Marcus go, "Well, you're well spoken for a fine young man." And he's like, "Well, I'm not a man, not at all. I am definitely an alien species. I understand my species definitely looks like yours, but I'm not one of you." He goes, "Oh, the hell you mean you're an alien?" And you guys are now out of your trance. You guys have started to come.
Marcus, come out here. I want to have a conversation, sweetheart.
He turns back through the door and looks at you and goes, "Go out there! You crazy? Look at this in here. It's a spaceship inside the door. I ain't going out there. It's cool in here." And then he continues to wander further into the TARDIS.
I'm gonna follow him just to make sure he doesn't get himself in trouble.
Oh no.
Oh no is right, my friend. So Bethany follows him inside the door. Drifter, do you follow him inside?
Quietly close the door behind me and see if there's any buttons that will hide the door.
Well, I mean, everybody's inside now, so there's nothing you can do about that. Oh, wait, you mean you're going to close the door and stay in Harmonic Pines?
I'm stunned and feeling a lot of different things.
Okay, alright.
I don't know how any of this works. I don't want this to get any worse than it already is.
Okay, so you're... Describe what you're doing to me again, because I am failing to understand a part of it.
Like, you know how the regular TARDIS has a variety of ways of hiding itself?
Yes.
Any of those.
Okay.
Anything that hides the door or makes it not be in the middle of a room, being an obvious weird frickin' door.
Which side of the door, and this is the confused part for me, which side of the door are you on when you do this? Are you inside with them, or are you on the outside? Like, are you shutting them all in, or are you going in?
I am going in.
Okay, cool. That's what I wanted to make sure.
Yes. I'm joining everyone inside, closing the door behind me, and desperately trying to find some switch to hide things.
Okay. Funny enough, you go right up to the control panel to hide things. The whole time Marcus is, talking to the guy. He's like, "You an alien for real? You don't look like no alien. You look like from 2nd Street. That's what you look like. You don't look like no alien." He's like, "I assure you, I am not from your planet of origin." Meanwhile, you walk over to the thing, and immediately the beeping sounds on the control panel because it's still tracking the shirt. The Bohemian has again leapt through time and has leapt through time to another specific place. And nonetheless, your TARDIS is tracking it and prepared to make another jump after him.
He's not on my mind at the moment.
Okay. All right.
So I'm trying to hide the door.
Give me what did we say was stuff like this? Mechanics, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, give me mechanics and intelligence. Since you are still new to the TARDIS piloting.
I'm poking at things with my Sonic because that's what I've got. And so that's gonna be 13.
Okay.
No, it's not 13. It's still gonna be 11.
Okay. Still above 10, so you succeed. You are able to find a device to basically kind of mask the door. It only works once you're inside, though, since you just barely beat the difficulty. So now you know it's there, but you only know how to manually activate it. You don't know how to automatically activate it, which would be how you would activate it from the outside.
Gotcha.
While you're fumbling with that, though, Bethany, what are you doing?
I'm watching Marcus, so if he opens up a door, I've noticed, of course, as from myself, when I would be I would go to open a door, I'd be like, "Oh, this is a bedroom." So if he goes to open a door, I'm gonna be like, "This is Marcus's bedroom," and see if it would manifest it's his bedroom.
Oh, interesting. Well, he is not done being distracted with the control room or the alien yet. So he's just still going back and forth with Jeffrey about whether or not he's an alien in the control room. And then Jeffrey kind of looks at you and goes, Miss Parks, Bethany, do you know this gentleman?
I do, Jeffrey. He actually is a good friend of mine from our planet, of course, from Earth, and I kind of wink, kind of giving him a cue of play along kind of thing, see if he gets it. And I'm like, "Oh, Marcus, we're all aliens in some kind of way."
I am going to give Jeffrey a little roll here. Okay. Jeffrey kind of nods at you and goes, "Ah, yes, humans. We're all humans here. I'm sorry, I was joshing you, friend. Joshing you." And Marcus just goes, when you say that you're friends with Marcus, he goes, in his perverted, disgusting old man way, he goes, yeah, she is. And my friend. Get it, Jeffrey? My friend, you know what I'm saying? Jeffrey goes, "I don't think I do, nor do I care to venture a guess." At this point, we'll switch back to Drifter. Drifter, you have figured out how to camouflage it. What do you do?
I camouflage it and then run off. With everybody else.
Run off where?
We're all in the same room. He hasn't left.
You're all in the same. You're all in the command.
Room.
Yeah, you're all in the control room. Nobody has left.
Panic slightly and start to run off, and everybody's still here. So it could be worse. Marcus, it's we have a lot to talk about.
He turns back to you and goes, "Damn, Spencer. Damn, what happened to you? You look completely different. Younger, more virile. How did this happen? I just left you. And you were just as old and crotchety as ever."
Yeah, about that. This is going to take a minute. Can't say I've done this before.
No, you haven't done a paradox yet. Welcome to the paradox episode.
Yeah, first, I'm not exactly Spencer. We look very similar, though.
He's like, oh man, this guy's gonna try and convince me he's an alien. Now you're gonna try and convince me you're not Spencer? What is this? Is this like the prank door that I just stepped through? What are we doing here? Am I on one of them silly Joker shows? One of them joke shows? Joke shows? Prank joke shows?
Let me show you. I'm going to unlock the, change the TARDIS's lock, and, is there a way to save this, location?
What do you mean?
And, is there a way to save this space-time location to return to it?
I mean, it's Doctor Who rules, so technically yes, but how many times is that successful, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, technically, yeah.
Oh. I have an idea.
Okay. Hit me, baby, one more time.
I'm gonna run to the back, grab the bullet, and just kind of toss it out the door. So I can walk back onto it.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. The bullet from the dinosaur, right?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. All right. You run, you toss it through the door. It kind of rolls under a couch. Yeah, you shut the door. Now what?
Alright. I'm gonna send us to, like, Mars in the, like, 100 years in the future.
Ooh, okay. All right. Okay. You hit some switches. You click some things. Give me a navigation roll. Navigation and perception.
10, 14.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you hit Mars, and it's it's in the future, so it's been colonized or some craziness. There's a big city on there, kind of looking like Cowboy Bebop or something. And you kind of land. You land in the right place. What do you do?
Yeah, lots of wacky gizmos, but want to show you this really quick. I'm just gonna open the door.
Ooh, and Marcus is just like he's like, oh man, you trying to prank me again? We're not in Harmonic Pines. And he kind of steps forward a little bit and he goes, we didn't. He looks at you, then looks back out. He's like, we didn't move. I didn't feel us move. What kind? Whoa.
Yeah, you're gonna want to sit down for a second, and he's gonna kind of close the door back.
He does. He kind of like falls backwards against the railing and slides down to his butt. Just goes, Spencer, what kind of damn witchcraft is this?
I guess that's close. That's close enough now. I'm from your future. I'm not Spencer anymore.
He looks at you and goes, I know those eyes. I know those eyes. We based a whole band name around those eyes.
It's what I am is I don't know anymore. But
he extends his hand because he's an old man and doesn't know how to get up.
no, I He's gonna take his hand.
He stands up and he goes, "Why didn't you come ask me for help? Why you ditch me back in the old folks' home? Why you running around with the nurse, the hot nurse? I mean, no offense to the hot nurse, but who's gonna help you more than your best friend? Huh?"
No. No one's helped me more than you. No one's helped Spencer more than you.
We kind of cut away to Bethany, who is watching this, probably realizing the sadness that is in this conversation. But Jeffrey just kind of like looks to you and goes, "They're friends?" It's okay, we can't see them because of your mystical city.
Jeffrey, yes, they're old friends. I am a caregiver at the Harmonic Pines, where Spencer and Marcus are some people that I take care of, and of course, Marcus is a little in love.
Well, that is interesting. He kind of looks very confused for a second, thinks about it for a second, and then turns back to you and goes, "So, on your planet, do all young women mate with extremely old men?"
No, absolutely not. Jeffrey, no. Oh, of course.
You're not together. Splendid. You had me worried.
Oh, of course not. No, Jeffrey, of course. I never like to be at home, and I lost my family at a very young age. So I got my nursing degree and everything, and I just kind of spent most of my time at the Harmonic Pines and spending a lot of my time with the people that I took care of.
Ah, so he's just a pervert. Got it.
Pretty much.
All right, so back to the Drifter with Marcus. He's just still staring at you accusingly. He actually pulls his cane up in that old man way and kind of pokes your chest a couple of times. He's like, "You haven't answered me, bucko. Should I call you bucko since you're nice and young now? What if you didn't have something to figure out? We have spent, nigh on 30 years together, and you couldn't come to me? Huh? 50 years. We've spent 50 years. We're childhood friends. Why the hell I ain't your damn ship instead of the cute nurse and the weird alien not alien?" Before you can answer, a little alarm goes off on your command console.
Uh-oh. What does it say?
Well, it
Then
takes
you look away.
It takes a second. You kind of like walk over to it, not answering him, and you basically it says that. Sorry, got distracted by sound for a second. Basically, it says that the Bohemian is preparing to jump again. If he gets more than 2 jumps away from you, you won't be able to track him with the shirt anymore. You'll be too far. So if you don't follow him now, you will lose him.
I'm gonna roll.
I do love that.
Endurance resolve.
Only in a Doctor Who game do you have to make a decision between speaking to the man or hunting the man who eventually kills the man that you're speaking to.
That's alright. That's 20. Yeah, it takes a long breath. And turns back to Marcus.
I have a lot of notes here that are useless now. Okay, so
We are. It's.
okay. You turn back.
We're
to
not
Marcus.
long. I'm sorry, Marcus.
It's like what?
We are not long for this life. In your time.
He goes, you look long. You look like you doubled your time, chum.
My time ended with yours. This is a different being.
He just stares at you for a long time, and he's like, my time ended with yours. What the hell are you talking about? Wait a second. You saying I'm dead? I don't feel dead. When did I die?
Oh, no.
I'm standing right here. How the hell did I die? I'm not dead. He looks at Bethany and goes,
I'm
am I
from
dead?
your future. Our future.
Um,
After we've blown.
not at the moment, Marcus. You're not.
Not at the moment. What? And then he looks at Jeffrey, and Jeffrey goes, I can assure you, chum, I have absolutely no idea what's going on right now. Marcus like looks back at the both of you and goes, well, when do I die? I mean, you want to open the damn Pandora's box. When do I die, smart ass? And then he starts to step up to you kind of aggressively now.
Drifter, I think it's time to hit the button to go back.
Marcus turns back to you and points to Kenny and goes, I ain't going nowhere, girlie. I want to know how I die. You want to tell me how I die? You show up out of nowhere.
Marcus.
Don't Marcus me. Don't Marcus me.
Calm down.
You ain't.
Remember, we're talking to Bethany.
I don't care anymore. You, both of you, just told me I'm dead. No way. I'm done talking to you. I'm done talking to you till somebody tells me how I died. You want to put me on a spaceship, drop out of thin air, and then tell me you're not my friend and that we're both dead? You better tell me how I died. Or you're going to find out just what this old man can do. And he is right up in Drifter's face. Like, furious at this point.
If I had to guess, that same day we just left.
He just stares at you for a long time. He's like, you telling me this is my last day alive right now? How's that possible? I mean, wouldn't me being in this spaceship with you cause some sort of weird paradox?
Yeah.
Something like that.
He just kind of like, he looks incredibly hurt. And he just goes,
If it's anything to you, Marcus, I did try everything I could.
I know you did, Bethany. I know you did. Doesn't matter. He turns back at the Drifter. Goes, this boy's got magical powers and I'm dead for some reason. Explain that shit to me. You can't explain that shit to me. Nobody can. And then he just walks over to the command console and starts pressing buttons. This is like, what's this do, huh? Let's see what it is. You're such a magical man, flying around in your special door. Let me change it around. Let me try and do it. And he just starts hitting buttons. Is anybody doing anything?
I go over and I kind of just hug him.
I walk over to him and I hand him this.
The house?
The house.
Alright, well, let's do the hug first.
Yeah.
Bethany, give me a charisma roll with empathy. Difficulty is going to be 15. He's pretty fucking irate.
19!
Yay! Alright, so he's flipping switches, just angry as hell. There's a couple of little sparks here and there, and then you walk in and just, like, hug him. And he kind of fights against you for a second, but he's not really fighting against you. He's just pissed and sad and hurt. And you just kind of, like... He just kind of calms down. And then, Drifter, you walk over, you extend the house, and he just looks at the house. He goes, that damn house. I always thought that thing was creepy. What's that got to do with all this?
You know that I would never... That Spencer would never leave this with his life.
At this point, though, I'm going to need you to make a mechanics / intelligence roll, difficulty 20, as the... I'm sorry, not 20, 15. As TARDIS begins to activate, he has been throwing switches. And I make one last ditch attempt to get back on track.
As intelligence...
And you can use your Sonic.
Intelligence mechanics? 15?
Yup.
I'm gonna roll one of my dice.
One of your dice.
One of my lucky dice.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
You didn't get it?
I did not. I rolled lower.
Even with the Sonic?
I had 15. It wasn't enough. I re-rolled, and then it went down to, like...
I'm not going to lie. I was ready to spend all my momentum. Because this was going to be a real quick session if you didn't get that... If you succeeded that roll. Not that I would ever stop the players from going off the beaten path. I would just be like, okay, I need to regroup and write a completely different episode for this. Because I don't know what else to do.
I tried.
All right, so the TARDIS responds to the things, and you immediately like, oh no. You use the Sonic, you try and flip the switches, but it is too late. The TARDIS launches into the time vortex, and it takes you to the last place that it was locked onto, which sure enough is the last place that shirt would have led you to, which is back in the 90s when Spencer York's band was popular. So the TARDIS just flies through space and time, and then all of a sudden you immediately start to get alarm bells, all sorts of bells. Things start to go off. I'm gonna need to give you I'm gonna need you to give me a mechanics and perception check. Then I need you to give me a navigation and agility check. Both difficulty... Well, first difficulty is 10. Second difficulty is 15.
I'm just blowing through stuff. I have to burn a momentum.
Okay.
See, I've always had to blow through all the stuff at the beginning because I'm stuck resource deprived at the end. Well, the first one was perception... Navigation?
No, the first one was perception mechanics, and it was a 10 difficulty.
11.
Okay.
On the second time.
All right. You have flown into something that does not make sense in any way, shape, or form. You have flown into a... wrote it down here. Let me make sure I have this right. A temporal lock generator, which is technology far superior to human technology, especially in the decade that you're flying into. Basically what it is it is a generator that for a large space, whatever that space is, anything that flies into it that can time travel does not get to time travel anymore. It locks you to the time and place that you are. Basically, it's kind of like a fish trap for time travelers. You fly in, but you don't fly out, sort of thing, while it's active. But it's completely lost on you that it's not completely lost on you that this shouldn't exist in 1991 Earth. It just shouldn't exist. That is what you were trying to fly through. The navigation roll was 15. The navigation agility roll was 15.
All right, I'm rolling it. Agility. That's a 16.
16. Okay, cool. All right. So you are able to just like sparks start to fly. The whole thing starts to rattle. Actually, Bethany, give me an agility acrobatics check.
Okay.
15 for you as well. As the entire place starts to shake. tumble, flip, almost like the stasis field that keeps the thing from experiencing motion just fails on you as it flies through this vortex. Drifter, you are well aware with your navigation, however, you're able to fly this thing to a point where it's not going to crash land or eject you. But one thing you do realize is the TARDIS is time and relative dimension in space. Once it's in this temporal lock field, the door is going to become just a door, and the TARDIS will be basically cut off from that door. You will be trapped eternally in the TARDIS if all of you don't get out of the TARDIS and then figure out the problem with the temporal field.
I'm sorry, Sweetness. What did you say the difficulty was?
15.
Okay. I have exactly 15.
Okay. That is a fail.
That's why I wanted to make sure.
You need to beat it, but since it's spot on,
He's within earshot and has +3.
Oh, giving some of them temporal points. So Drifter's going to save you on that one then.
Thanks, Drifter.
So basically the whole thing, you start to, you were still hugging Marcus. It takes you by surprise. You start to fall backwards over a railing. Drifter actually yells, brace, and this manages to kind of like snap your alertness in, and you manage to hook your arm over a railing as you almost flip over. Manage to keep your footing without taking any damage. So, Drifter, what do? As the door sets down, you have but seconds to get everybody off of this thing before they are trapped in a temporal void, basically.
Yep. Alright, everyone, out of the door! And I just grab everybody nearby and run for the door.
Okay, Jeffrey's actually standing closer to the door, so when you grab Marcus and Beth and just start pulling him, he actually just gets the hint and sprints for the door. You guys all make it outside the door just in time for the door to shut, and then the door, which always suspends itself, just kind of like standing there, unknown, seems to go lifeless and then just fall flat on the ground, like plop, 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 like it's just a door you buy at Home Depot. A very nice door, but a door nonetheless. And
Drifter,
you guys,
what did you do?
We are stuck for now.
We're stuck? Did you just say we're stuck?
Not permanently. Thankfully, we're all outside.
Jeffrey actually walks up and touches Bethany's shoulder and goes, "Oh, no, of course they're not stuck. He's like a time wizard. You can get us out of this, right?"
Of course! It's just going to take a moment. Marcus?
Marcus? When you say Marcus, you realize he's not standing next to you.
I'm looking for him.
The panic in just that one sentence made my day. I'm looking for him. Where's my paradox machine? He is, you kind of turn over and he's standing about like 10 feet away from you. He's kind of wandered away a little bit and he's looking up at a venue in front of you. It's got kind of the old school movie theater kind of, what is it called? Never going to get it right. But the old school movie theater signage, you know what I mean, on the top. And then sure enough, across the top, it says, Tuesday, Red Delirium Project, Wednesday, Windows for the Soul.
We're at the Odeon. Right.
Yeah, basically. Well, you guys never played the Odeon. Like,
okay.
Like, you are at a house
like
of whatever on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. Not even. It's like, yeah, we're in whatever. It's like that, but in like Lakewood.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and you guys are just kind of like he's just looking at him. He's like, "I'll be." He turns around and looks at you and goes, "You remember when we played this place? This is one of our best performances. You can hear them in there cheering if you're quiet. You hear them?"
I can't resist being quiet for a moment and taking it in.
He definitely hears from inside. He hears a specific song, which I have picked out and I will send you guys individually. But you hear a specific song that's straight up you guys. It's called Pterodotomy. And you just hear them rocking it out. You hear the house is packed. And it takes you back, Drifter. Like, yes, you're the Drifter now. You're not Spencer York, but you still have all of Spencer York's memories. And for that little second, you're back on stage. You've got the crowd eating out of the palm of your hand. And this was one of those moments where you truly thought you'd make it as a band. You never did. But this was one of those moments where you touched it. You touched the clouds. You know what I mean? This was your Icarus moment. You are, however, snapped out of it as you see three black 90s. You see three black Fords, large Fords, pull around the corner and start to head directly towards you guys with tinted windows.
You think there might be a celebrity in one of those?
Not in this part of town.
Marcus is like, we could always go in, check them out. And he starts to shuffle towards the front gate.
I'm gonna catch him by the elbow. You know we can't go back in.
He looks at you and goes, why? What's gonna stop us? I'm dead today.
Well, Drifter, if we can find a side door, we might be able to go on backstage. Just don't run into anyone.
I love Bethany. Like, well, yeah, we could. Just don't talk to yourself. Back to the future rules. Back to the future rules. Nobody talk to anybody else.
Give them that one last good time.
Marcus deadlock eyes you with a super serious look in his face. He's like, yeah, one last good time. Don't I deserve it?
I didn't say you didn't, Marcus. I'm just saying.
No, he was looking at Drifter. He wasn't talking to you.
He's... Ooh.
I am gonna say this: the cars are speeding towards you guys in the door. There is also now a large military truck that has come around the corner behind them, heading towards you guys. And I will give knowledge rolls if anybody wants to make them.
I'll make one.
No, jeez.
Knowledge, intelligence. I am gonna say for Bethany, for you, it would be like a 20, just because this is very far removed from your field. Like 1990s specific Men in Black would be removed from your field of expertise.
I got a 19.
Ooh, close. You know they're not good, and you're pretty sure they're free.
Is that including your bonus?
Oh no, that's not including my bonus. That's just with everything else. So you said it's +3, correct?
Yeah, it's +3.
So that would be 22.
Okay, so she got it. Drifter, did you get it?
Nope.
Oh, nice. So Bethany, you're not exactly sure, but you start to feel like, I mean, you got it, but you only barely got it. You feel this is not your area. You're not like, you don't have, covert agencies memorized in your brain, but they definitely look like everything you've seen in a TV show you've watched. They only appeared when you and your time door came out of nowhere, and they seem to be heading directly for you with a military van. So they are most likely United States government here for you guys. You're not exactly sure how that's possible, but you're definitely getting that feeling.
Dun dun dun! Torchwood! No.
I gave them a different name. This is America. Torchwood's in Britain.
Okay. So Marcus, you really want to go backstage?
He's like, yeah, I do, Miss Bethany. And he kind of like smiles at you. His vitriol is a little bit more directed towards the Drifter right now.
So I'm gonna have Jeffrey and Marcus follow me. I'm gonna start kind of going down, hopefully like an aisle on the side of the cinema to see if there's like that backstage door.
This is kind of a smaller, like I said, it's more like a House of Blues type thing.
Right.
So it's not a big venue. It's a small venue. You can tell that it's packed. And this is well past halfway through the set at this point. So, like, there is... Like, the bouncers have walked away, basically. That sometimes happens. They're just like, hey, we're out. Nobody else is coming in. So there's no real tickets or anything anymore. You guys can very easily enter the place. You guys walk in. You just hear the music just thundering from inside. And when you guys walk in, basically the way I've designed this place in my brain is it is kind of like a basement kind of House of Bluesy thing. So when you walk in on the ground level, you're on like a large kind of almost like balcony type section. It's huge. It's not a balcony, but it overlooks kind of like an amphitheater basically. And then the stage in the front. So you can see them playing. You can see all the people in front of them going crazy. And then the floor in front of the stage is much more for the packed in, sweat covered, possibly mosh pitters, while everybody up here on the balcony, there's kind of like tables, there's people tapping their feet and whatnot, but it's much more like the, hey, take a break from the sweaty part and just have a drink up here and listen to the music sort of part.
So we're gonna go ahead and kind of mosey to like a table to kind of just watch the show, but to where Marcus is still able to see everything and kind of relive all of it and have his moment.
Okay. Marcus walks right in and looks down. And honestly, Spencer, you're captured by it a little bit too. Because not Spencer, Drifter. Because you see Spencer on stage just belting out the Tear It Out of Me lines. You see Marcus just rocking on the bass behind you. Spencer's also rocking on the guitar in the front and just killing it on the mic. And when you were in the moment and you were singing, you always felt like you were doing good. But now that you're watching it, you know you were good. Like, this was absolutely the height of awesome for Windows to the Soul, without a doubt. You actually step up next to Marcus, entranced a little bit, almost bringing Spencer back to the forefront. And Marcus kind of forgets his hatred for you a little bit for right now, or like his anger at you. And you just see him smiling. He goes, you know, to this day, I still can't even remember that damn drummer's name. Just chuckles to himself, and you guys see just this blonde lady just going crazy on the drums. You can't even see her face because her hair is just all over the place. Just bow, 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 bow.
Gee, Marcus, it almost sounds like as if you were telling me the stories and I'm actually living it now.
He's like, yeah, it's not bad. We were good. We were good. At least tonight, we were the best goddamn rock band the world had ever seen.
Well, if I was young again, I think I would have came to your guys' show.
He goes, yeah? He turns over and goes, Bethany, you a rocker?
Of course.
You see Jeffrey actually like pound his fist. He's like, this music, it is aggressive, but also deep and moody. Oh, we have nothing like this on Kellon. We have nothing like this. Oh, what are they doing with their fingers, with the hands? Yes, the bullhorns. Give them the bullhorns. Like that's him just talking to himself in a corner. Marcus just kind of looks at him and goes, oh shit, and then he looks back at you, Drifter, and goes, he really is an alien, isn't he?
He's just kind of smiles, half smiles and nods.
Okay, both of you give me awareness perception checks.
10!
10? Okay.
15.
Okay. Drifter, you're the first one to notice them. But, like, you kind of, talking about him being an alien, you're like, wait a second, we're not in here really to watch the show. We're in here to hide. And you turn around towards the door, and sure enough, coming down the main steps is a woman. She's got brunette hair, kind of hair down to shoulder length, kind of cut into layers, very professional looking, with a suit on. She steps down in, either side flanked by large man with suit as well. They look very Men in Blacky. They kind of look around the place, and you can tell immediately that these guys are, without a doubt, here for you guys.
Drifter, blend in.
Yes.
Do not let them see what we see.
Yeah. Hey, Marcus, you remember that? You remember that? That one gig where we had to sneak out the back?
Yeah, I do. I remember how we got out of here.
Yeah, I think we might have to do that again.
You suddenly remember that the only way you did that was the backdoor bouncer. You had to actually give them a specific type of candy in order for them to kind of like let you out the door. And that specific type of candy was Tootsie Rolls. It kind of dawns on you, and Marcus almost reads your face, like almost like you're getting too much of Spencer. It's like he can start to see the Spencer in you, and he goes, "Don't worry, Bucko. Never leave home without him after that night." And he pulls out like a handful of Tootsie Rolls from his pocket.
Oh. Once more for old times.
Once more for old times. Okay, so there are two stairs on either sides of this kind of balcony area that kind of they're squared off stairs that are enclosed, but they go down and then out into the main amphitheater spot. But you can kind of also kind of keep to these hallways to either left and right of the stage, which will take you backwards to kind of the fire exits. It is at this point that you start to make it that way, but I do want you to give me another awareness perception check. Both of you, though, Drifter, if you get it, you'll get to glean more information than Bethany.
Natural 20.
Oh,
dang.
This bitch, Jesus. Jesus, these
16
rolls.
for me.
16. Well, you both got them. All right, so Bethany, you notice at the same time as you guys start to move that the head woman reaches into her suit. She pulls out a device that 100% looks like a smartphone, which was not invented in 1991 or even close. She pulls it out. You see her actually click a couple of things, and then something starts to glow off the side holographically, which immediately denotes that, like, well, that didn't exist in 1991. Drifter, you, however, since you passed it, you actually can glean that device is not a smartphone at all, but somehow it is something that allows people to track temporal radiation, basically. Just from you moving through temporal space, you end up incurring these particles, and it tracks that. So, which is crazy.
I'm gonna break it.
I'm gonna break it, bitches! Give me some to break. If only I had the, if I had the rights to do songs from the '90s, this would be a nostalgia. Just immediately play Limp Bizkit right now. Okay, so what? How are you gonna break it?
I am using my. I'm going to have my Sonic under my coat, and I'm going to remotely scramble it.
All right, give me mechanics intelligence, and as usual, you can use your Sonic for it. And difficulty. Difficulty 15.
Fair, and I'm paying 2 momentum to re-roll that, because that was tragic. What? You know I'm just gonna roll lower, but I have to try. That... 3... Nope, that's 12.
It's 12.
12.
I'm gonna say that it definitely has a negative effect on it. Maybe gives you an opening, but it does not break it in any way. You see her kind of like hitting it a little bit, and then she kind of like realizes what that means, and she goes, "He's here. He's definitely here. Spread out." And the two of them start to spread out, giving you guys not so much time to get down and down the stairs and away. Both Bethany and Drifter give me quick stealth checks. To not be noticed as your entire party scurries suddenly for the stairs.
14.
Oof, guys.
You are modified though.
Oh, she is modified. Okay. All right. You guys managed to avoid detection, moving to the north side stairs and down the stairs. You know you've only got seconds before they start to kind of like track your, temporal energy signature. As you move down the stairs and towards the back. It isn't a problem for you to keep moving through the crowd and towards the back. And yeah, you guys end up making it to the back door without, you know what? Give me a high-low call. We're going to say Bethany. High-low.
No.
Okay, so as you guys are moving, you kind of get down to the hallway. We've got a little event happening. As you guys hit that just for the record, the roll was 11. You guys hit the bottom and you start to move towards the hallway. Basically, the hallway is, again, it's like kind of like a level above the kind of pit area where everybody's playing and whatnot. And Bethany, I'm going to need you to give me an acrobatics and agility check with a difficulty of, we're going to say, I'm just going to difficulty that way. A difficulty of 15.
Acrobatics? Nope, I don't have that. Agility. I got a 17.
Ooh. Okay. All right. So basically, like, you guys are moving through. There's a couple of like small tables in this kind of hallway area and some pillars, kind of outlining the pit area. And one of the guys bumps into you. One of the drunk guys bumps into you as you're walking by. He just kind of backs into you drunkenly, and you almost go over the edge into the pit with all of the people screaming and yelling. But you actually manage to catch a column and hold yourself steady and pull yourself forward. And yeah, you guys continue to make your way down. However, you guys do see the people in the black suits kind of coming out of the stairs. At the beginning of the hallway, once you pull her in, so you guys kind of double time it back towards the door. And sure enough, there's a large bouncer there named Bill. He just looks at you, and goes, whoa, 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 there's a fire exit only, boys and girls. You're gonna have to head back and out through the door. He kind of motions like a flight attendant on an airplane. You're gonna have to go back up the stairs and then to the right to the door, Marcus just whips out some Tootsie Rolls. He's like, how about now, pal? And he's like, all right, but don't tell anybody else. And takes the Tootsie Pops, the Tootsie Rolls, and opens the door for you guys to head out. He shuts the door. You guys walk through it just as the men in black kind of come up, and he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. This is a fire exit only. You're going to have to go back down the stairs and up and out. So what do you guys do once you're out?
I lock the door.
Nice. Okay, how do you lock the door? Oh, just with the Sonic?
Yeah.
Give me a mechanics rogue. I'm sorry. No, rogue intelligence. What'd you get?
It helps if you need to count on your toes. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. Oh,
I'm guessing he got a low roll and he's trying to decide whether to do it or not. Did you beat a 10?
I did not. It's a 9.
Oof. That is frustrating.
I'm going to take a luck.
Okay, alright.
And that's a 20.
There you go. Alright, now you lock it, no problem. Yep. A couple of like hits on it, and then finally you get it locked. Just as you hear like some, because you heard him on the other side, like, excuse me, I am a government official, you will open this door, yada, yada, yada. And when he goes to open the door, it's locked, and you hear him on the other side, hey, Who locked this door? Who locked this door? And then there's some banging from the other side. But you guys can kind of, there's a set of steps kind of going up back to street level. And you guys kind of come out to the alley. Again, this is nighttime right now. Obviously, because it's the middle of a concert. But you guys make your way back to the alley, and you actually see the soldiers putting the door into the back of the truck, shutting the doors, and then driving off. Alright, so we're going to start off real quick with a resolution check. I am going to need the Drifter to make it. The difficulty is a 16 currently.
Was the Bohemian involved in getting the feds the temporal lock generator, or is this
something different?
Or was he just setting up the timing?
Okay, give me a roll.
Oh no!
Yay! I needed this consequence. I needed it so badly. What'd you roll? Oof. Ooh, I didn't need it to be that bad. Jesus. Mary and Joseph, I'm gonna have to come up with some other stuff now. Okay.
Yay! Great.
Alright.
That's a wonderful way to
Still
get
gonna
going.
answer your question though. Just from the level of technology that's coming out of this and at this time period, both on Earth and spatially, from what you understand and what you have gleaned from your regeneration and your adventures thus far, is that there is no one else who could have possibly had more of a hand in this than the Bohemian, which makes you kind of feel like somehow the Bohemian is in bed with whatever federal organization this is. And that is also the moment while you are kind of lost in thought that you realize that there's you, there's Bethany, there's Jeffrey, there's no Marcus with you guys.
I did roll badly.
He's off to do a paradox. Basically, we kind of rewind a second when you realize it, just for the evidence of showing, because I know this is time travel, and everybody's like, did he just vanish? No, he handed the Tootsie Rolls to the bodyguard to get you guys through the door as usual. He stepped to the side. He let you guys all run through the door. Then he just stayed in the club and shut the door and helped the bodyguard and waited for you to lock it. You had thought he moved through with the group. He didn't.
Oh.
And now we're going to do the second consequence. Because it is at this point that, like, you guys are just standing in the alleyway and you realize that Marcus from 2024 is now in 1991 and has evaded you in a club where he is already playing bass, his younger self. And just as you're about to say something, you hear, "Freeze! Don't move!" And you realize that around the alleyway, three soldiers kind of like step up, bringing their guns up in hand, and you see one of the guys like kind of hooked to his combat uniform. You can see the phone type device that the woman inside was carrying, one of the temporal, the kind of chronoton trackers. And sure enough, she was not the only person with a chronoton tracker. And she made a quick phone call when she realized that the door was barricaded and you have been head off at the pass. Don't move, any of you! What do you guys want to do? They all have assault rifles. They are 20 feet away at the mouth of the alley.
Where are we? We're outside of the door now, right?
Yeah, you guys are in an alley between the club and the building next to it. And it's a relatively large alley, but an alley nonetheless. The mouth of the alley that you just watched the door be driven off in, that's the alley where these 3 soldiers came around, guns up, pointed at you, automatic ARs, and basically yelled at you to not move. And Marcus is not with you.
Drifter, we've got a bit of a problem.
Jeffrey's hands are already up.
Pardon my language.
No trouble here.
Pardon my language, everybody, but goddamn Marcus, he scooted his booty out of here real quick.
Scooted his booty.
I'm gonna slowly start raising my hands. I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I didn't travel through time, I promise.
What's the... Is there anything in particular about the alley?
What are you asking? You want to give a roll? Perception awareness and ask me what you're looking for?
Yes.
For a momentum.
That is... 20.
20?
Yep.
That was really good. Take a momentum.
20. Oh, boy.
What were you looking for, though? You didn't ask me what you were looking for.
I am looking for, like, stairs, ladders, electronic, mechanical, like, power boxes, gates, any kind of, like, barricade.
Okay. There is no barricades. The way it's laid out is this is about 10-15 feet wide. It's, like I said, it's large for an alley. Behind you is like a series of stairs going down to the door that you came out from the club. Kind of like almost like a basement door in. And then around that, there is a few trash cans, a dumpster, there is a power box, and then the building next door to it seems to be being currently remodeled to be created into a Starbucks. It's not there yet. It's coming soon. And there is a back door to that, but it is obviously pretty heavily locked. There are no fire escapes in this alley. There is, of course, it is a straight shot to the exit on the backside, though.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I think he's gonna slowly put his hands up.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Is this the Hey, just out for a walk. Wrong alley. Don't mean to be here.
The two soldiers, there's three soldiers, two of the soldiers on either side start to kind of flank in preparation to take you into custody. They move a little bit closer. They're now 10 feet away. One of them radios in, "Yeah, we have him in custody. We have him right here. We're about to secure the target." And then looks back to you and goes, "Don't move. Hands behind your head. No sudden movements," as they slowly move towards you. All three of you.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a real quick question?
No, hands behind your head or you will be shot dead.
Listen, there's no reason for violence here.
They're going to shoot you. They're soldiers. They're trained soldiers here to apprehend you guys as subjects. Like you, I'm going to give you this one. There is no negotiating with these three. They are given orders and here to get you guys. That's it. They are treating you guys like terrorists, basically.
Fantastic.
You see that determination in their eyes.
I think they got us in this one.
I guess we're going wherever they're taking us.
Well, they have the door, so we don't have much of a choice.
Jeffrey laces his fingers behind his head next to Bethany and kind of leans in towards her and goes, Is it always like this?
No, it's not like this.
So I should be concerned then.
Not at the moment. We'll let you know when.
Oh, yes, please do keep me informed as to when I should start being concerned. At this point, the soldiers, very carefully and easily, the one in front of the three of you keeps a gun on you while the other two kind of drop their guns to their side and secure your hands with zip ties. At that point, your guys are all led into a van, funneled into the back, the door shuts, a soldier steps in. Basically, it's just like kind of a long carrier van. They shut the doors behind you. You guys are all instructed to sit on one side of the van. The soldier sits on the opposite side of the van, gun up on you. The door shuts, and you guys start to move. It's that simple.
Is Marcus in when the doors open the van? Is Marcus in there?
Marcus is not in there. Marcus has a mission. Of course he does. He's on a roll, man. He's back in 91, and he's gonna right a wrong. And it's going to ruin all your lives.
Oh.
You got an old man who you told is going to die today in a position to change his life. And he is now free in the 90s.
Oh, goodness.
All right, so you guys...
he's going to say, you know, there was one other person with us. We don't want to leave him behind.
You guys, like, you can feel the van start to move, and the guy looks at you and goes, all right, he radio's in. We're being informed that there was a fourth. Yeah, I know that's not part of the information we got. Okay, all right. We'll put some men out on it. So, he goes, yeah, we'll let Commander Dino know. Yep. All right. Turns back towards you and goes, I'll let Commander Dino know that you were cooperative. Not exactly sure why she wants you so bad, but it is what it is. Orders are orders. And then he just kind of sits back, and you guys are in for a truck ride. Do you guys want to say anything to each other? Jeffrey's starting to look a little nervous. Like, he's like looking back and forth to you guys, and then back to the soldier, and back to you guys.
Beth wanted to shut her mouth last time.
Oh, man.
No, sir. Definitely don't want to be... clearly a misunderstanding, so we're happy to talk to our... We would like to speak to a lawyer.
He just looks at you and goes, there's no lawyers where you're going. We don't deal in lawyers. Civilians get lawyers. You aren't civilians. You're targets. It's that simple. I will say this. He is wearing kind of black, kind of cargo, almost wetwork fatigue, but he does have a patch on his arm that's just kind of this weird kind of star patch. It's not like a full star. It's like a star, but a stick figure star. Does that make sense? So like just like a line, and then dots at either end, like an X with a line coming out of the top. Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
The words I'm saying. So give me a intelligence check to figure out what that is, or remember that, or plumb the depths of your... I will say this. Bethany can also make this roll. However, Drifter's difficulty is 10. Bethany, yours is 20, because this is just not an organization you would have ever had any... Like, you would have had... This is like a fringe conspiracy thing. So, like, you would have had to, like, stumble upon this just given your backstory. So, knowledge, perception, 10 for the Drifter, 20 for Miss Bethany.
Okay, give me just a second.
No problem. You take your time.
16.
Not quite enough. It's a really good roll, but you needed a 20 just because your knowledge wouldn't fit this base.
Right. Dang it.
Good roll. Good roll, though. Good roll. How about you, Drifter?
25?
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it and a half. You know them as stasis. They are basically... What? Say that again?
I was saying, that would have been great to roll like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it would have been a real quick episode. Marcus would have still been there. You wouldn't have gotten caught. Basically, you... where was I? Stasis. They are stasis. They are they're basically the United States version of UNIT. They are the United States kind of temporal, super secret government organization dedicated to temporal anomalies as well as like temporal distortions, stuff like that. You did not think they started this early, but yet again, here they are. The other thing that you know about stasis, just from your regeneration and your knowledge stuff, is unlike UNIT, who tends to have kind of a much more friendlier outlook. I mean, as far as it goes with certain species and whatnot, stasis is not so friendly. Stasis is kind of scary for people who mess with stasis. Maybe one of the reasons all the aliens land in Britain and not the United States in Doctor Who. Yeah. That is you recognize that emblem as that. However, nonetheless, there is no knowledge in your head of stasis ever having temporal lock generators or the ability to track chronotons. So, something's going on.
Heck. I was trying to see if I could remember or find anything of the specific image, but no.
Well, I want to give you one more piece too, since you got so successfully through. You do remember this image, this knowledge. All this knowledge comes from like ID and his regeneration, and just kind of the wealth of knowledge that comes with being half Time Lord, but. You also remember this icon from your dad's screensaver back before you lost your dad. Like one of the earliest like memories you have of him. Because I believe as far as the story goes, you lost your parents when you were like 10 or so, if I recall correctly. Yeah, probably around like 7 or 8. You remember his screensaver had this icon. This exact icon. Spencer York, I mean, not the Drifter.
Right.
I also want you to give me an endurance resolution check real quick. Difficulty 10. Endurance conditioning. Real quick. Difficulty 10.
Yeah. That is still 10 on the dot.
Okay. You suddenly get a swift and daggery stabbing pain in your head, like a headache, just a quick, hard headache. The kind of headache where it feels like a capillary burst. You know what I mean? Where you like almost like the start of a migraine. If any of us have had it, where like you feel that stabbing migraine, and then you feel kind of like a numbness through your whole body for a second. However, unlike a migraine, which stays with you for the rest of the day and just ruins your life, this headache goes away after that, and so does the numbness. It's just a very strange, all of a sudden, ouch feeling. Because you failed to roll, Bethany, you do notice all of a sudden Drifter kind of like wince very, very visibly in pain and grab his head for a second, and then like maybe count of 5, he's okay.
Is there something we should speak about there, Drifter? Are you feeling okay?
Say that again. I don't think we heard it.
Oh boy, audio's not working.
It just cut out for a second. It happens every once in a while. So
not my best night. I think it's fine.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, if something goes wrong, let me know, please.
Jeffrey leans into you, Bethany, after you check on him and goes, "Should I be concerned now?"
Not yet. that. No red flags so far.
None of this is red flag? He sounds legitimately surprised that we are not encountering any red flags yet.
You're gonna be fine. We promise. Just hold tight.
He kind of looks at you. My dear Bethany, I can take care of myself, and I'm more worried about you than me. We're all of us together, and he seems to blush a little bit, and he's like, I'm gonna stop talking now. And at that point, the guard kind of looks at you and goes, how about you all stop talking? We're almost there anyway. And Drifter, one thing else you realize is that with Marcus free in 1990, you are on a table. You need to shut down this temporal whatever, and you need to get to Marcus before he causes a paradox that could destroy everything. And you're not exactly sure what that timetable is, but everything's on a timetable now. Like, you feel rushed, because if you don't find Marcus, like, there's a reason he evaded you. So, yep. You know him well enough to know that. So, he's up to something. Alright. So, you guys arrive. The two double doors swing open. At this point, you see the men in the black who were chasing you down with soldiers on either end. The woman in the lead... Was that right? Did I have that wrong? No, that's right. The woman in the lead with the dark hair and the... Was it dark hair? It was dark hair, right? God, I should listen back before I start playing again, right?
It was a dark club.
It was a darkish blonde hair with a potential red tint. With her sunglasses, she takes her sunglasses off. She has piercing blue eyes. She just kind of looks at you both. She's probably mid-30s and very fit, takes good care of herself. She just exudes that kind of like takes herself very seriously sort of kind of aura. She looks at you all as she takes it off. She's like, the Drifter. I would say I'm surprised to make your acquaintance, but we were told exactly where to find you and exactly where to pick you up. And I'm glad that our information has paid off.
Sorry, I think there may be some kind of a mistake. I don't know anyone here.
She nods. Yes, indeed, there was a mistake. A huge mistake. Bringing your time machine here and all the paradoxes that come with you. Yes, quite a mistake. I am glad that we were well prepared for you. We will be escorting you to interrogation, and I am very happy to have locked up a potentially universe-ending threat such as yourself.
I'm not harmful to anyone.
She looks at you and goes, collateral damage, my dear. You picked the wrong person to be a companion to.
I'm going to roll, I'd like to do... How about, endurance resolve? I know it's low for me. He's gonna try to snap out of this fatalism.
Okay.
That kind of sunk in.
Okay, alright. He's having a bad day.
I'm trying to give him a shot to pull himself out of this.
Okay.
Ooh. That's 15.
Okay. Yeah, he would definitely pull himself out of it. You've got a universe to save, even though this woman doesn't realize it. From her, from Marcus, from the Bohemian, from everything. However, you do realize, well, I'm going to give you, because you rolled so good, I'm going to give you an intelligence, perception awareness roll, with a difficulty of 10.
It's like 22.
Wow. Okay, you really snapped yourself out. You do realize that the temporal lock generator is probably in their home base, and they've brought you right to that.
And so's probably my door.
Yep, it's all here.
Americans. If there's one thing Americans like to do, it's collect things in one little place.
Yep, we really do.
Especially governments.
Really do. Got all this space, but we want to put it all in one area. Yep.
I think, Bethany, if you want to roll perception, you can probably tell that to see if notice the Drifter's really been maybe a lot more Spencer and a lot less Drifter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would say Bethany would notice that probably without a roll. That
Right.
Drifter has definitely been falling back into Spencer and not the weird person you've been traveling with. Even though they're kind of one and the same and you realize that, you don't really understand the dichotomy of them, but there's something off right now where he's slipped back into the old one. But it seems like he's kind of breaking it a little bit.
May I speak to my comrade for a moment?
She looks at you and goes, "You'll have all the time to speak. We're putting you in holding. Take him downstairs." And they...
Ma'am, I'm... Can't you just let me go since you said he's the one that is the bad guy?
She looks at you and goes, "No, we're not letting any of you go. You're all temporal terrorists, and we're putting you exactly where you belong, in holding, until we figure out how to dispose of the three of you. Because just the fact that you are here endangers the universe." And she walks right up to Drifter and goes, "You do realize that, right? What you do, running through time, jumping around, it endangers everything, everyone, everybody. Your mere existence is a threat to the entire safety of the universe."
Oh yeah, of course. It sounds so simple that way. You're the ones with the temporal lock who've trapped someone out of their timeline. And how do you think that's going to end? How could that possibly be fixing a timeline?
She looks at you and goes,
You don't even know how. You don't have the slightest idea the forces you're working with.
she's like, "I know this. I'm going to end a force I don't understand, and I can assure you we'll all be better for it. And as far as the temporal lock, it's defending ourselves from insane walking paradoxes like you. Just the mere idea that people like you exist. Well,
Yeah, and besides, who would possibly know where someone coming through time would be other than, I don't know, somebody else with nefarious plans?
Ma'am, have you ever heard of maybe working with people that, maybe can help you fix the paradoxes?
And don't wear tacky Hawaiian shirts.
she looks. She's a little stunned by the mention of the Hawaiian T-shirt, and she goes. She looks at Bethany and goes, "I have chosen to work with one such individual to fix the paradoxes. Those paradoxes are the three of you. And now, from what I understand, there's another one running around my country. Well, I'm going to find that, and I'm going to put a stop to that. Now, as far as the three of you can have fun in holding while we decide what to do with you." And then she turns.
Sure, let the other guy go. We could be perfectly happy to be out of your timeline, but no, you have to put things in little boxes, don't you?
She stops and turns around, and she goes, "I know about the black door. Do you? I know what comes with that door. And I know that just because it's purple now doesn't mean it's not going to bring a whole herald of terrible things. I've seen what the black door can do, and I'm going to stop it before it ever happens."
Yep.
And then she turns, she looks, she's like, "Yes." And then she turns and walks away. The soldiers kind of motion you guys to move towards the holding area. You are a little thrown by the black door. Your door is purple. It's not black.
Yeah.
That's what I was just gonna say. Something to do with the Drifter / Spencer.
Go for it. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine.
Thunder.
You're fine. So, do you think she's colorblind? She just said our door was purple, and this other door is black. I don't think purple is a very good close to black. Do you, Drifter?
Oh, I'd say a lack of vision is certainly a problem here.
Jeffrey kind of like steps in and goes, I think I may not be understanding exactly what we're all talking about, but I do want to point out that, at least on my planet, people are not let into the army who can't view colors.
Well, and, when we mentioned that guy in the Hawaiian shirt, she really didn't speak much about him, did she? Maybe she's got us confused. She's thinking we're with him, and we're not with him. We're trying to stop him.
Jeffrey actually kind of goes, from the way she talked about him, I think she's in league with him. I mean, not that I know who this fellow with the Hawaiian shirt is. You two haven't really explained him to me. But it did look like when you mentioned the Hawaiian t-shirt that she had recollection of him.
Oh, Jeffrey, he's bad news. Very bad news. You remember Marcus that was with us?
Yes, the old man we've lost track of.
Yes, that would be the man. I watched that young man take his very last breath in front of me, and it was because of the Hawaiian man.
Oh, and the whole thing we just left was his fault too. Because that's what happens when you pick the wrong time entities and don't know where you are in anyone's relative timeline. But go ahead. Make decisions very easily.
You keep yelling this across the loading bay, and you hear back from the far side, I can't even hear you anymore. Jeffrey actually, though, noticed the pain in your face, Bethany, when you mentioned that Marcus took his last breath, and he just kind of like reaches up with both hands and puts one on his shoulder and goes, I'm so sorry. That must have been terrible. Even more so terrible to now have to interact with him alive. I can't imagine what you're going through. I mean, I did get to see my father get eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex not more than 24 hours ago, but so I kind of understand what you're going through at least a little bit.
Well, in my line of work, Jeffrey, of course, I get a little bit attached to my clients. And it's almost like they're family. So you lose a lot of family in my line of work of being, a nurse assistant. Here, Spencer, he, of course, and I spent a lot of time, we just had a lot of small talks, and again, that's why I'm really good with people.
Jeffrey just kind of smiles at you and goes, I believe it. You definitely have an empathy about you that I've never seen before, Miss Parks. And at that point, you hear one of the soldiers behind you like, enough flirting! In the holding cell! You guys have arrived at the holding cell. He motions you guys into it. It's just a big, old-school jail cell. Locks it shut. Shuts it. And yeah, the three of you are in there. And the guard is outside.
Well, sir, how'd you get into all of this?
Who are you talking to?
To the guard.
I thought so.
The guard does not respond.
Are you not allowed to talk?
He looks, he goes, no, I'm allowed to talk. I'm just not allowed to talk to prisoners.
But technically, I'm not a prisoner or an alien, I guess you guys call them.
You're not an alien. You're You're a temporal terrorist. That's why you're in the cell, and you are a prisoner. I mean, we have you in prison.
Temporal terrorist. Aren't these like really bad people? I'm a nurse assistant. I help people stay alive.
Give me a charisma manipulation roll. Because you're trying to make friends with this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have him roll against you. Where is my soldiers? Soldiers, too mental. Oh, okay.
Where's my 17.
17. You definitely beat him. Gain a momentum, and he kind of like, he looks around and he goes, my mom was a nurse's assistant. It's like, it's tough work. It's tough work.
It is. I was just telling my friend here, Jeffrey, you know, we kind of get attached to our people, and, you know, it's like losing family members, as you have probably done in your service.
He's like, yeah, I've definitely lost some family members. I mean, I can't even tell her what I do. She thinks I'm like a pizza delivery guy. But she was single. My dad ran out on me, and, you know, she worked so hard for so long. Yeah, long hours and everything. It's crazy. It's crazy work. Crazy work. Where'd you do your schooling?
Oh, I was at my schooling. I did it at a local small little school. My class was only like 30 people.
Jeff, while you're chatting with him, Jeffrey leans into the drifter and goes, "What's happening right now?"
Oh, she's always like this. It's amazing. Meanwhile, the drifter is looking around for any kind of sensors, cameras, seams, and trying to see if he can get out of the zip cuffs and then be kind of loosely in them.
Well, nobody took your Sonic, bro.
No, they didn't.
They did not. So you definitely still have that. There is a camera in the room, kind of positioned triangularly, so that it can see the entire room. Well, it can't because it's 90s. So it would be, there's kind of like a dead spot right under it, but other than that. And then, yeah. Exactly. And then the door is a standard like it's heavy bolt lock, but it's barred heavy bolt lock. The walls themselves are stone, other than the front, which is the barred sliding bar locks, basically.
Oh yeah, very typical. That makes sense.
So, sir, you said she. Is this your grandmother, your mother-in-law?
No, it was my mom. It was my mom. My dad worked out on us, and you know, she worked 2 jobs and went back to school. Then she thought it was going to be easy street for nursing assistants, and she still had to work terrible hours. It was awful. You know, I still had to take care of my brother, and then can't even tell my mom how successful I am. I'm a time cop, for frickin' sake. Jean-Claude Van Damme's got nothing on me, man.
Yeah, but you know, as her child, she's going to be proud of you no matter what you are.
Give me charisma manipulation again. Just gets in deep. Oh my god, I cannot roll with the soldier.
22.
Okay. He actually, the gun is hanging at his hand, and he's now leaning like with his hands through the bars towards you, talking like that's how into this. He's like, yeah, you know, she was a great mom, and you're right, she would be proud of me. I think she knows that I'm successful inside. And then Jeffrey's just like,
that's funny. I'm gonna chime in and add to her successes. But listen. This is a serious job. you've done really good for yourself.
He's like, I have done good for myself. I protect the United States of America from freaking time terrorists, man. Is it? I do. And Jeffrey's now standing behind all three of you, like, to himself, and just goes, what is happening?
Can I get the, I guess would be agility rogue to slip the cuffs and
yes, agility rogue. Difficulty for the cuffs is going to be, I'm going to say 10 on the cuffs.
Your old zip cuffs.
Yeah, not going to be that hard.
I am going to re-roll that.
Especially with the Sonic. And since apparently the Sonic can work on ropes, which I had no idea.
It's just one of those things.
One of those things.
All right, well, I didn't get all of my stuff back, but that's a 24.
Jesus. Okay.
Hey, it cost me 2 momentum to re-roll that from the 4 that it was originally. So
not only do you slip your cuffs, but you slip them in a way that you pull the zip cuffs up into your sleeve, and it doesn't even look like you uncuffed yourself, like perfectly, like while talking to him right in front of him.
So, sir, now how long have you said you've been doing this for?
He's like, well, I've been on it for about a year, but I've been in the Army for a while, You get recruited from a special program. They, you take some tests, and then you're kind of, your brain, your psyche kind of fits a certain profile that they like, and then they put you into some special training, and then, boom kapow, you end up working as a time cop. It's pretty sweet. But I mean, it's elite. It's elite. I'm one of the best of the best right here. You gotta be to fight, people like you guys who are basically gods who move through space and time without any rules or regulations.
Well, we're not as gods or anything. We're just, normal people, just like you.
He's like, yeah, but
everybody's got a job. It's hard.
It's like, yeah, everybody does have a job, and it's hard. Like, he's completely under Bethany's thrall of compassion and empathy. So what do you do next, Drifter? Well,
I'm gonna Sonic the camera into a loop, and then I'm gonna hold his hands and then pop the cuffs on him.
Okay.
And watch me run out of points and rolls and fail catastrophically here. But
it's a really good idea. Really good idea, though. All right, so give me the camera roll.
13.
Okay, you loop the camera. Now it's going to be a rogue. Rogue. No, I'm gonna say rogue. Rogue stealth check to slip the cuffs on the.
You gotta give me something. Rogue, it's not 2 skills.
Rogue agility. Sorry, rogue agility.
All right.
Slip the cuffs on him.
It's 17.
That'll do it. Take another momentum. Well done. You guys are firing on all cylinders.
Listen, your family should be really proud of you. You've done great, and this is the hardest thing. And then it's locked. Like, listen, it's not personal. Listen. When this comes back, when this camera comes back on, tell everybody I jumped you, but you got a good hit on me. We're just trying to leave your timeline and not cause any paradoxes, which unfortunately your boss is about to do.
He actually looks at you. He's so enthralled with the conversation that Bethany started that he doesn't even know what you're talking about at first. Like, he's like, what are you talking about, man? You jumped me. How would you ever jump? Oh! And he sees that, he puts the hands up and sees that.
As he goes to do that, I'm going to grab his gun that's close to me, and I'm going to kind of really quickly use a momentum and knock him out with the butt end of the gun.
Ooh. Like the handgun?
Uh-huh.
Okay, alright.
Like,
You're gonna pull his handgun from the holster and hit him with the butt of it.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were saying like the rifle that was slung over his shoulder, and I was like, that's
Oh, no.
how that would happen. Okay. You don't need to use a momentum for that. That's a straight attack. Just give me give me a force. I guess it would be ranged because you're holding the gun. So force ranged, if you got it.
It should be melee or unarmed. Since she's not shooting him with it.
She's not shooting.
Yeah, I don't have
it,
either,
but the way the rules go is it's ranged is your skill with the weapon that is ranged. That's okay. Just roll force and a d20 and tell me what you get.
17.
Okay. Well, let's see. He does not have a whole bunch of bonuses.
Please don't kill him.
Well, that's why I was going to say if I can use, like, my knowledge and stuff with medical and stuff, so I know I'm going to hit him and not out where I'm not going to hurt him.
So he rolled a 1 on his defense, and he already had negatives because, he's zip tied to the bars. So I want you to give me a medical intelligence roll with a difficulty of 10. If you get over it, you're able to pull your punch and not potentially give the poor guy concussion syndrome or, murder him. Under 10, and we're talking a potential consequence.
We're doing 12.
Okay, so you're alright. So you thwack him. You use your medical knowledge to kind of pull it in just the right way so it knocks him out, and he just kind of ends up hanging there by the zip tie, taking a little nap. And Jeffrey goes, "Oh, splendid! You two are quite the team."
Well, we kind of work great together. Let's hurry up and see if we can find these keys and get out of here.
Yep, it's the less time we're here, the better. But we have to turn off that device and get our door.
Okay, so rogue and intelligence to bust the lock.
Come on, Drifter.
These are things I can do. Strictly, it's I think it's a 24.
Okay, lock is busted. No problem. All right, so you guys kind of step out from the holding cells. You're just kind of like in a long hallway. What do you want to do? Actually, let's do a resolution roll. Difficulty's 11. So give me your insight you want to glean. And then we'll see if you consequence it up.
Ooh.
And there's a lot of insight. You could be trying to figure out where Marcus is to prepare for that. You could be trying to figure out where the generator is. You could be trying to figure out where your door is. What do you want to gain insight on? Oh, and if you want to give this roll to Bethany, that's okay too. You guys are both together. Doesn't matter to me. It's up to you two. What's your game plan?
I'm going to hand it off. Partly because I have doubts about ability, and partly as I'm having trouble deciding. And also, I shouldn't do all of them.
Okay.
I think it's better if she figures this out. So
Bethany, what do you want to glean? Do you want to figure out more about Marcus? Do you want to figure out more about the Bohemian? Do you want to figure out about the generator, the door, the stasis? What do you want to... What information would you like to gain more insight on?
We're going to do the Bohemian.
The Bohemian. Okay, what specifically do you want to gain? Like his connection to stasis?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me resolution roll. The target is 11.
18.
Well played, madam. Well played. All right. So your insight. So no consequences whatsoever. But you kind of think about it for a second, and you kind of put together what Jeffrey said about the colorblindness, Drifter's back and forth with Dino, and you realize that Bohemian's been behind it. Like, Bohemian came back in time. He set up stasis. He's been feeding them technology. He has been setting them up to better deal with the Drifter for this day, basically.
Nice.
Yes.
Because that's what I was going to say. My idea was that maybe he was some part of it, maybe like the leader of it of some sort, and then had his right hand.
He is to stasis as Doctor Who is to Unit, basically. Like, he's insulated himself as their enigmatic hero, even though he's the villain. So that's how this has been basically working. And he has been setting them up to deal with the Drifter.
Nice.
However, I do also want to point something else out. You're not exactly sure how he would just know about stasis. That is something I can't answer, but something that does kind of glean into your mind. How exactly would the Bohemian even know about stasis in the first place to set this up? So, with the resolution successful, with all of that going on, what do you guys want to do? You're free. You've got time before anybody finds you. How do you guys want to hit this? You've got to find the door. You've got to shut down the temporal lock generator, and you've got to find Marcus. How do you guys want to handle this?
I'm gonna guard himself. Does he have any like technical equipment that kind of shows the layout of the base itself?
Ooh, that is a really smart play, Bethany. Give me a let's go perception awareness. That's pretty good. I'm going to give you a momentum for that because that was your idea too. And you actually snag one of those nifty little detector things off. It's like a cell phone type looking thing. You're not quite sure how to use it. It is locked, but you feel like there would be information on it more than just to track you guys.
So with Bethany being a little bit of a smarter, intelligent person, can I use an intelligent maybe knowledge with her knowledge of like maybe cell phone devices and stuff, maybe that you use like maybe his eye or his fingerprint to unlock it?
It definitely looks like a passcode to you. I'm not even going to give you the roll because you are savvy enough to see that it's kind of a passcode that you wouldn't be able to thing. However, you have seen that the Sonic has worked magic when it comes to breaking, well, basically doing magic. So you might want to work with Drifter on it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Drifter to see if he can maybe try and break this. As well as I'm going to look maybe at his badge of some sort if he has one. That he might have like an ID number or something where they each might have an ID number that they unlock their devices with or something.
It definitely has an ID number. However, the passcode is like a 4-digit code, whereas the ID number is like 15 digits.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's whichever number. If it was from the ID code, it wouldn't be something that. I mean, still smart play. Are you keeping the ID badge?
I'm going to, yeah, because I'm going to think, of course, as myself from being a medical assistant, some of those rooms might need a key card of some sort to be able to get into.
Are you going to keep the gun?
No, because, again, Bethany is not a person that really is into violence if not necessary.
I respect your commitment to the character, madam. So cool. You kind of put the gun back down next to him. You pick up the ID badge. You hand the phone to Drifter. Drifter, you're gonna try and get into it. I mean, the device. I shouldn't call it a device.
I respect the commitment to the only violence being inducing concussions through really successful.
It was necessary.
It was a little violence. It was small violence. Alright, give me a rogue intelligence check.
and I'm burning that momentum I just got to not have that as my number. Oh, wow. Nope.
Still can't get in?
Nope. Nothing. No,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Sonic-wise, it's not gonna work.
You try to get into this thing, and you immediately stop. You realize that maybe the Bohemian set up these devices with some sort of defense against your Sonic, basically.
But it's the 90s and it's still 4 digits.
This is true.
So it doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that long to guess it. And he's gonna. And I'd like to do. Charisma awareness. If the guard had mentioned any personal date information in his
Ooh,
that Bethany had talked him out of.
good call. Go for it.
That's a natural 20.
Okay. Yeah, he did give a couple of dates. His birth date. He gave the date that his mother became a nursing assistant, and he also gave the date that he started for Stasis.
I will try those 3 in that order, and then if none of those work, I'm going to try my own birthday.
Okay. You try the first 3. Blue bloop, don't. Blue bloop, don't. Blue bloop, don't. And then finally you try your own birthday, and it goes through. And
The plot
nonetheless,
becomes quite thicker.
yes. There's so much to the Bohemian. So at this point, you get into the device, and you're able to kind of finger through the device. It not only does it allow you to detect beings with chronotons in a very widespread area, but it also kind of has the schematics. They use this almost like a PDA for everybody in Stasis. For all of the main heads or whatever. Not everybody has one, but every grouping, you know what I mean? Like a squad or whatever will have, the squad leader will have one, and that's how they kind of basically they just use cell phone technology way before cell phone technology existed. But nonetheless, you definitely have the schematics of where the generator is and where the door is. The door is still in the loading bay, strapped to a truck. They haven't moved it off there yet. The actual temporal lock generator is hooked up. This building itself looks to have been, at one point in time, a radio station in Cleveland that has shut down. And basically, there is a large...
That hits real hard, man.
There is a large radio antenna on the top that they have plugged this thing into, which is allowing them to boost the signal to the point where basically all of Cleveland has a temporal lock on it right now.
So, Drifter, do you think if we leave the generator alone, we get to the door, that we would still be able to travel, or do you think they have it locked down to where we're not going to be able to travel even if the generator is going?
I'm going to answer this for you. You guys had to leave the TARDIS because the door is literally just a door right now. As long as that temporal lock is up, until that temporal lock goes down, the door is not connected to the TARDIS. The TARDIS is time and relative dimension in space. It's just a thing that floats outside of time, and the door connects to it and then connects to the place that it goes to. That's how I've always imagined it. This disconnects the door from that kind of pocket dimension. So until the lock is taken away, the door it's literally just a fucking purple door sitting in the back seat of a truck.
Gotcha. So we're going to the generator first. We're going to, of course, kind of watch our surroundings if possible, Drafter. Watch any doorways, any doors that open. If we can find anywhere to squeeze into, we're going to get to that generator and shut her down. Any objection?
No, sounds like a great plan. How about I add something to this? You said this is the phone is like like early PDA.
Yeah.
Is there a office messaging?
Yeah, there is quite a bit of it. What are you looking for?
I'm gonna say that there's pizza in the break room.
Good call. While you're typing that up, and after Bethany, like you guys finish the plan, you hear Jeffrey behind you go, "I'm with you as well." And you turn around just in time to see Jeffrey in his nice outfit. He's rolled up the sleeves. He pulls the machine gun that he knows nothing about off the guy, pulls it up. He thinks he's cocking it. He presses the clip release. The clip drops and bullets go all over the floor. He's like, I'm not sure if that was supposed to happen, but I'm pretty sure this thing will be threatening if I point it at somebody.
Dangerous, but impressive. You make a good... I think you'll get along with humans just fine. Just...
Dangerous and impressive. Drifter, when you're sending that, I want you to really quickly give me, I believe it's mechanics and intelligence check real quick. Difficulty is low. We're going to say 5.
12?
Okay. You remember while you're sending your pizza message that this is also a tracker for chronotons. And anybody who has traveled through time has chronotons attached to them. So you could really quickly and easily use this thing to figure out where Marcus is right now.
Right now is not a bad idea. I was planning on doing that after we got the door, but I can do 2 things at once while we're running down the hallway.
Okay, he is standing outside Jacobs Field. Like you locate him, you scroll through, and he's just kind of standing outside Jacobs Field, maybe sitting on a bench. You're not exactly sure, it's just a bloop on a map. But really quickly, I want you now to give me a knowledge intelligence check to plumb the depths of Spencer's recollection. Because something kind of rings true to you.
Natural 20.
Okay, that's gonna kick off a flashback then. You kind of stop, you see where he is, and then you are taken back to the old folks' home. You're sitting next to Marcus in your room, watching TV, playing with your little house, and basically from nowhere, because every once in a while you would just ask a weird question about time travel. We all know why now, but you didn't at the time. Just say, what would you do if you could do anything, if you could go anywhere in time? Marcus sits there, and for the first time ever, well, not the first time ever, but one of the few times you see him get very serious, very solemn. And he goes, I would go back in time and stop Celine from ever meeting me. And you're shocked by this because Celine is his wife, the woman that he basically spent his entire life with, had his kids with, who then had their grandchildren with. So you can't help but just kind of stare at him in utter shock. And he realizes that you're waiting for more explanation. He doesn't even look at you. He just goes, I'm going to tell you something, Drifter. Every morning after I met Celine and I started waking up next to her, I'd wake up and the first thing I'd think is, oh God, what if she realizes? What if today's the day she realizes she could do better? What if today's the day she realizes that I'm not good enough for her? And then she'd roll over and she'd smile at me, and I would realize the guilt of, good God, I kept her from somebody better. I kept her from being with a better person. And it's just wrong. She spent her whole life with me thinking I was the best thing that ever happened to her. And I was always just a scumbag. I'd fix that. And suddenly you are taken back to your, just kind of standing there. Bethany, you watch Drifter just kind of like zone out for a second. You come to the realization that the day after the concert is the day he had tickets to see the Indians play. But he lost the ticket in the crowd going into the stadium. Ended up searching for it, sitting down on a bench. That bench is where Celine walked up, seeing him sad. She had an extra ticket because her date had stood her up. They went to the Indians game together. C'est la vie. So he is, you literally realize he is there to stop himself from meeting and falling in love with the love of his life. And I can't think of a greater paradox than that. Because of his infinite imposter syndrome.
And I'm the depressed one here. Yeesh.
Everybody's depressed, baby. Just some people are better at masking it.
Yep.
Alright, so...
old fool is booking it.
Okay. You also realize that given the time and when the baseball game starts, you have about 30 minutes before he stops everything from happening.
Drifter? What is going on?
Remembering a few things and how, time is not always our friend.
So, have we found where Marcus is with that thing?
Yeah, he's at the stadium and we should get there preferably an hour ago, but sooner would be better.
So, would you say it would be smart for us to split up since somebody needs to get this generator stopped and somebody needs to stop Marcus at the same time?
I think we all need to get out of the secret evil government base.
Jeffrey's like, well, I have an unloaded weapon, so let's do something.
We will. Promise you. You'll get to do whatever you may be able to do with that thing. But Drifter, I think...
hit somebody? I'm not sure.
But Drifter, I think we might be able to maybe shut down this generator real quick, get to the door, and use the door to jump real quick, grab Marcus before he messes everything up, and then we can go ahead and get out of here. That's what the door's for, right?
You're right, Bethany.
We can't just leave this place and then come back, because they're not going to be just standing at the door with an open door saying, come on in.
Jeffrey chimes in and goes, well, why don't me and Bethany go break the machine upstairs? You go to the door, and then you could just jump to all of us.
I think a little bit of this hope is what we need.
Gee, Jeffrey, you are pretty smart.
He goes, I have my moments, Bethany. I have my moments.
All right.
And thank you for
saying. So we're gonna split.
Oh.
I'm gonna tell her where the generator is and run to the door.
Okay. Here's what I want. I want everybody to give me stealth checks, agility checks to get to the thing.
I got an 18.
Nice.
I'm burning one of my luck tokens I got back.
Listen, Bethany, she is swift on her feet.
Jeffrey gets a 21.
Jeffrey!
He's like Naruto running.
That's a 13, but I will. Well, hopefully everyone's getting pizza right now.
Yeah, most people are getting pizza. You're okay. You guys sprint. You run off in the direction. Bethany, Jeffrey run through the hallways. They manage to avoid everybody. They get up to the rooftop. There's the device. Jeffrey kind of looks at Bethany one more time, holding the gun like, is now the time? Waiting for the nod.
Yes, sir.
he brings up the gun and just smashes it into the thing. The temporal lock generator falls. Drifter, you're at the door. The door almost stands up on it, like whoa, it lights up and kind of like stands up, breaking the straps that strapped it down to the bed of the truck, and just stands up into the air, and you just feel it like almost like you're live, friend, live. It is at this point that you enter it. You're able to bop to the roof and bop to Marcus. Not even going to make you roll because want to get into this kind of ending. However, by the time this is all elapsed, you realize that you're like cutting it right close. You're like at that 29-minute mark. But nonetheless, you pop out, like kind of rushing to the door. You guys land. Do you all go out at the same time, or?
I just left Drifter. I'm gonna stay in the TARDIS to be able to hit that button when once I see those two come through the door, I'm hitting the button to get out.
That's fair. All right, so Drifter, you step out of the doorway, kind of in a rush, only to see Marcus sitting there on a bench alone. He's looking across the parking lot. Across the parking lot, you see Celine, young Celine. You remember her from your youth. Talking with Marcus on a different bench, and they stand up and walk towards the stadium with a smile while Marcus just watches. You see a single tear rolling down his cheek. What do you do?
I was starting to run, but he drops to a walk, and then sits down next to him.
He just stares after them, knowing that you're there. It takes him a second before he speaks, and then he just goes, "How bad is it that I couldn't do it? I'm that selfish. How terrible does it make me that even now, I still can't stop her from making the biggest mistake of her life on me."
I never knew but how hard all this was on you.
He goes, "She's just so good. She's so good I don't deserve her. You know? Like, I never deserved her. I never deserved the life that she gave to me. Like, when we were traveling on the road, we were running around, and I treated myself how I felt I deserved, and she came along, and it was just, you know, I always hit on the nurses, I hit on Bethany, I hit on everybody afterwards, but I have only had eyes for her since I met her, and I just don't deserve it. She deserves so much better than me. Look, I know you're not Spencer anymore. It makes me real sad that you're not. But if there's any Spencer in you left, just tell me how I'm supposed to deal with this."
Well, the same way we've always dealt with it. Sometimes you gotta. Time just chooses us. We do what we can with what we got. It ain't fair. Lord knows it was never fair for me either. But you gotta appreciate what you got while you have it. You can change whatever, you can try to change whatever, but some things just don't move that way. You're always different. You changed after you two met. And it was for the best. She brought a good thing out in you, man. And the way her eyes lit up with you, that's something special. And I'm glad you didn't try to undo something as much as you may have wanted to. We're just the way we are because of the things that happen to us. Better or worse.
He sits there for a second in silence. Then he rubs his tear away. And he goes, you know, I'm done, Drifter. Let's go home. And you guys, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. You get back on the TARDIS. You take him back to the waiting room. He walks out of the door alone. He looks back one more time, winks at you, Bethany, playfully. It's a different kind of playfulness this time, but playfully. And then he just sits back down in his chair.
So as I see him go to sit in his chair, I run up real quick, run up behind him, where nobody can really see, because again, it's kind of, you know, commotion going on in the cafeteria area.
Definitely.
And I whisper to him, just remember, you'll always have a special place in my heart. And then I, of course, will run back and go into the door and then shut it.
Okay, that makes it even better. The door shuts, and as you guys begin to travel again, Bethany, you suddenly, almost as if you're remembering it for the first time again, you're taken back to when you're holding his hand and holding him as he's dying, when he's uttering those, like trying to mouth something to you, and you can't understand what it is. You're taken back there again, and then all of a sudden you realize that you could read what he said. You always could read it, what he said, almost as if it's being re-remembered in your head the correct way. And you can tell that he says, take care of Spencer, he needs you, thank you, with his eyes. And suddenly his desperation in his eyes don't look like desperation when you're holding them. They look like relief that you're there for Spencer and that he got to do what he needed to do. And then we end the episode like we began it, with a single tear rolling down Bethany's cheek. But this time, she's smiling.
Yay!
This has been ID, a Doctor Who actual play podcast, Episode 4, Windows to the Soul. The Drifter / Spencer York was played by Aether Dios. Bethany Parks was played by Hope Child. It was written, directed, and game mastered by Zachariah Van Sliders. All music and original songs were provided by Nicholas Van Sliders. We will endeavor to be back next week with a new episode.